What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about right tackle Kaleb McGary. And is Kaleb McGary currently on the trading block? But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about right tackle Kaleb McGary. And is Kaleb McGary currently on the trading block? So personally, I'm not too sure if Kaleb McGary is on the trading block, but I don't believe that Kaleb McGary should be on the trading block. There's a lot of rumors out there that the Falcons could take a right or left tackle in this first round of this upcoming draft in a couple weeks. And personally, if I were the Falcons, I would stay away from drafting an offensive lineman. And that's because Kaleb McGary is one of the best right tackles in the game of football. Recently, I believe it was about a day or two ago, on Twitter, they posted the top right and left tackles and the tackles that have given up the fewest pressures since 2022. And Kaleb McGary was on that list. He was, I believe, number 6 on that list, but he was top 10 when it comes down to right tackles and left tackles. He gives up the least amount of pressures. He was 6th on the list. So Kaleb McGary is a lot better than a lot of the fans give him credit for. He is a guy that I think goes under the radar because we have Jake Matthews, who's our left tackle, who's been really good and really solid throughout his career. But Kaleb McGary is no slouch. Kaleb McGary is one of those guys that I believe the Falcons should try to extend. His contract is up after this season. He did sign a 3-year extension 3 years ago or 2 years ago. So this year will be his last year on the contract. But I don't believe in letting go of good players. I believe in you pay your players that you developed and that you cultivated. And Kaleb McGary is one of those guys when we drafted him out of the University of Washington that we cultivated. He's one of those guys that developed under this coaching staff, under Dwayne Ledford. And I really feel like he's turned into a really, really good player. So if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I'm not trading Kaleb McGary. I could see the Falcons try to trade him and possibly draft a first round left tackle or right tackle. But there's no guarantee that when you bring in a young rookie that year one, they're going to be a really good player or they're going to play up to the level of a Kaleb McGary. Kaleb McGary is one of those guys that could be a borderline Pro Bowler. He's that good. And I'm not too sure if you go in and draft someone out of this draft, I really feel like there's going to be a huge drop off between Kaleb McGary and the way that he's played because he's been able to develop, because he's familiar with the other offensive linemen. He was drafted with Chris Lindstrom. I believe when you have a really good offensive line and guys that's played together for a while, the offensive line is one of those positions where you basically have to be on one accord. It's one of those things where you have to have that chemistry and things of that nature. And I feel like if the Falcons were to either trade Kaleb McGary or let him walk after this season, it could be a huge mistake, especially because the Falcons, to me personally, are in win now mode. Guys like Terry Fontenot, guys like Raheem Morris, I don't see these guys surviving another losing season. So if the Falcons don't win this season, I really feel like Coach Raheem Morris could be let go. And I definitely think that GM Terry Fontenot could be let go because he hasn't had a winning season since he's been the GM of our Atlanta Falcons. So if I'm the Falcons, if I'm GM Terry Fontenot, I'm going all in this season. Even if you're going to just keep Kaleb McGary for just this last season and allow him to finish out his contract and then walk, I really don't feel like this team or this GM and head coach, I don't believe that they have the leeway to try to trade Kaleb McGary away and try to plan for the future. At this point, it's win now mode for this team and for the GM and the coach, the head coach that we have. I don't feel like they have that leeway to say, well, we're just going to continue to build for the future because they may not be here to see the future. So if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, if I'm GM Terry Fontenot, if I'm Coach Raheem Morris, I'm keeping Kaleb McGary on this roster. I'm allowing this team to play out the remainder of this upcoming season and see if you can make a playoff berth or make a deep playoff run. And I really feel like Kaleb McGary at that right tackle position gives the Falcons their best chance of winning. Now, does Kaleb McGary have flaws in his game? Yes. But that's all players, especially offensive linemen in the league. Every player in the league has their weaknesses. At times, Kaleb McGary is a little bit slow off of the snap and things of that nature, and he gets beat by these athletic freaks off of the edge at times. Last season, we seen him trip over his own players at times. But you're going to win some reps. You're going to lose some reps. But majority of the time, Kaleb McGary is one of those guys that's going to win his reps. He's going to win his share of reps. He is one of those guys that's a very physical offensive lineman, does really well when you run the football and allow him to be a mauler, which he is. He's one of the best run blocking. Both him and Chris Lindstrom are one of the best tandems when you talk about in the run game. But even in the pass game, he's no slouch in pass pro. And basically those numbers that came out on Twitter where he talked about him being the sixth best tackle in the game as far as giving up the least amount of pressure. So I really feel like it would be foolish of the Atlanta Falcons to try to draft a left or right tackle to replace Kaleb McGary, even with him being the blind side of Michael Penix. Last season, when Michael Penix finally got in the game, I didn't see a bunch of drop-off. We didn't see him giving up a bunch of sacks. Even with him being the blind side of Michael Penix, he played really, really well. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on Kaleb McGary. Do you think the Falcons should let him go and let him walk after this year? Do you think he should be traded? Tell me your thoughts on Kaleb McGary, but I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed, peace.